There's a flurry of exchanges happening in the Indian Ocean, some publicly, some not so much. Making these deals are two traditional partners, India and Sri Lanka. Now, this relationship has been problematic, but it has always endured. Civil war, natural disasters, domestic politics, the India-Lanka relationship has survived all of it. But can it survive China? You cannot ignore the Chinese equation in Colombo. They make up 10% of Sri Lanka's foreign debt. They have invested $15 billion there. They're running ports. They're making highways, all kinds of infrastructure. But this Chinese money has pushed Sri Lanka into debt. Simply put, they're running out of money. So what does Colombo do? Turn to India. In 1 month, Sri Lanka and India have signed 3 defense pacts. 2 of them were kept secret. 1 was signed publicly. We'll discuss the secret ones first. How were they exposed? Thanks to a clarification by the Lankan government. Opposition lawmakers got wind of the 2 deals, so they went on the offensive. They said that Sri Lanka was sacrificing its national security. Well, that's when the clarification came from the government, and this clarification revealed 2 deals signed by Colombo and New Delhi. What are these deals about? What do they cover? Number 1, a floating dock. And number 2, a DORNIER reconnaissance aircraft. India will transfer both these assets to Sri Lanka. Plus, an Indian team will train Lankan pilots. Colombo says neither deal affects national security. In fact, it helps them save money. So why keep these deals a secret? Was it to not antagonize the Chinese, or was it to blindside the Lankan public? Either way, these are 2 very important deals. The 3rd was signed on Monday. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar was in Colombo. This 3rd deal covers maritime rescue. India and Sri Lanka will set up a coordination center. Sri Lanka will offer 7 subunit naval bases. India will offer $6 million. And this deal was publicly announced. The reason? Again, your guess is as good as mine. Beyond the cloak and dagger game, though, what do these deals signify? Is Sri Lanka pivoting back to India? Well, there's certainly an argument to be made here. Let me list out the recent developments. Financial assistance worth $2.4 billion. Agreement on the TRINCOMALEE oil tank farm. 3 power projects in the north, one of which was initially promised to the Chinese, and now these 3 maritime agreements. Remember, all of this happened in 2022, so within 3 months. Does this count as a pivot? In any other case, it would, but not here. Because Sri Lanka continues to seek help from China too. Reports say Beijing is considering another financial package, a loan of $1 billion to Sri Lanka and a line of credit worth $1.5 billion. Plus, they're pushing for a free trade agreement. Basically, bind the Lankan and Chinese markets together. What does that say about Sri Lanka's policy? Are they playing both sides? Well, it's certainly possible. Sri Lanka desperately needs financial assistance. They're also aware about the India-China rivalry. So why not get the best of both worlds? Nepal has been doing it for years, after all, and now so is Sri Lanka, it seems. The question is, how should India respond? Unlike China, India has constraints. Number 1, financial. China's checkbook, remember, is far bigger than India's. So outspending China is not an option for India. Number 2, the future of Sri Lankan Tamils, that remains a problem. India has consistently called for a just reconciliation process. On Monday, Minister Jaishankar repeated that call. China, on the other hand, does not care. Human rights, minority rights, not really Beijing's concern. And this limits India's ability to deal with the Rajapaksas because the Rajapaksas are staunch Sinhalese nationalists. They led the civil war against the Tamils. Having said that, India must not step back. It must use out-of-the-box thinking. Let me give you an example. Let me show you a tweet by a Lankan journalist. He reported that surgeries at a hospital were suspended due to shortages. Guess who replied to this tweet? India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, and I'm going to read out Jaishankar's reply to you. This is what he said. Disturbed to see this news, I'm asking the High Commissioner to contact and discuss how India can help. The High Commission did reach out, we are told, and pretty soon the surgeries were back on track. And these gestures go a long way. They build relations between India and the Lankan people, if not the Lankan government. China believes in the opposite. They've bribed Sri Lankan politicians, they have lured the Rajapaksas into lucrative deals. India has done neither. Now, it's hard to say which strategy will work, but we all know which strategy is morally right. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.